Hey guys, welcome back. I've got a video here from Walter's World. It is the don'ts of British trains. I thought we might check this out because people were telling me that if I'm able to come over there, that a really good way to get around from place to place is through the trains, and you can get passes and stuff like that. So this might be a good guide of what not to do. So yeah, let's give it a watch. Maybe y'all can let me know if this is true or if there's things that he leaves out. Um, but I will link this video in the description and let's get it going.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're here in Chester, England. And today I want to talk about are the don'ts of riding the train when you come to Great Britain. Because there are some rules you should know about, but there's also some little tricks and tips that you should know before you come here because you don't want to pass up on the train when you're here because there's so many great options to take trains. Like you can take that Harry Potter train and you can go explore a lot without having to drive on the other side of the road. So that's why trains are really a great alternative when you do come here to the United Kingdom, okay? But the first thing I want to talk to you about is when you come here, don't expect one company to control all the trains. There's actually a lot of companies that control the trains. So, for example, I'm spending 2 weeks here in England and I've had to sign up for 4 different programs to be able to get my tickets on my phone, okay? So, something you want to kind of think about when you're here is you'll go to like nationalrail.co.uk and look for your train tickets and your times, and you'll pick a ticket, and then they'll say, hey, we're going to send you to this other company's website to buy the ticket, okay? So don't be surprised that happens. Just know that there are multiple companies that have multiple problems, that are multiple differences in level of service and stuff like that that you're going to have, okay? They're all fine, but just know there are a lot of different companies when it comes to the trains here in the UK. And the thing is, no matter what train you take, what company you take, don't pack a lot. There's usually not a lot of space to put your luggage when you're on the train here in the UK. Above might be a little bit of space for like your purse or a small backpack, but for any big luggage, if you're lucky, there's going to be something like at the end of the carriage, there's going to be a place to put big luggage. Some place you have to put it underneath your seat, sometimes behind your seat. But a lot of times there's just not a lot of space for big luggage. So pack light if you're going to be doing train travel around the UK. And when you're looking at your tickets, a don't I have for you is don't wait to book your tickets. If you know you're going to be going on certain days, book early, because if you book early, you get lower prices for your tickets. And we're talking significant differences if you're buying, a month beforehand or a few weeks beforehand versus buying on that day. So something to kind of think about when you're looking at that. I will tell you, don't try to buy your tickets like 6 months in advance because the tickets aren't on sale that far in advance, but you get an idea when the trains might go, but you're not going to be able to buy tickets like 6 months, a year in advance, okay? So if you're planning your trip for next year, you're gonna have to wait a little bit until you can buy, okay? And if you're gonna be coming here at Christmas time, I know it's one specific day, but don't expect any trains on Christmas Day. There are no trains that day. So I know a lot of people come during the holiday season. They think, oh, we'll go to someplace else and get there on Christmas Day. No, there are no trains on that day. Now, another thing you might want to know, when you're at the rail station, you're looking at the signs, looking for where's my train gonna be, and you'll find it, and it'll say platform, and there'll be nothing there. And my don't for that is don't expect them to put the platform number that your train's going to be on until maybe 10 or 15 minutes before your train actually departs. And if you're in a big city like London, right, and you'll see people just waiting and waiting, and then they announce it that boom, it's a mad rush there. There are some websites you can go to that'll tell you a little bit sooner so you can get there sooner. But in general, you have to wait till they announce it, so that can be a bit troublesome and bothersome, especially if you.
Gives me anxiety already just thinking about. I'm like I have high anxiety and like OCD. And so, like, if I go to the airport to go somewhere, I am ridiculously early, and I keep like, I will repeatedly check my ticket, check like, it is a problem. And that already gives me anxiety just thinking about that and hearing that. Ugh.
Need more time to get to your, the train, but if you're going with grandma or you have limited mobility or you broke your ankle when you've been traveling around, that's why my next don't for you is don't be afraid to ask for assistance at the rail station, because I'll be honest, no matter where you are in the UK, they will give you great assistance. I mean, and it's fantastic. And so if you need extra time, you need some help, ask them and they will definitely help you, okay? But honestly, you're not going to know where your platform is, okay? Now, if you're at smaller stations, smaller cities, they'll let you know beforehand. It's no big deal, but something that really is something to think about if you're going to be leaving from London or taking trains from London for sure. Now, when you're getting your tickets and you're going to be buying it from all these different kind of train companies and you get your tickets, one thing you need to realize is don't expect to get a paper ticket all the time. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll just send you a PDF, so you have a QR code that you'll scan in, and the conductor will scan it to like say, yes, you were on there. But some of them you will have to get a paper ticket and they'll have you collect it at the station. And my don't for this is don't forget the credit card you bought the ticket with and your like kind of reservation number when you go to pick up your ticket at the kiosk at the station, because you're going to need that to kind of get it to print out for you. Otherwise, you might be out of luck and not have your ticket. Another don't with your ticket is don't put it away. Have it out, because like I said, you might need to scan it if it's QR code, or if you get your ticket like it looks like a little credit card sized piece of paper, you might need to slide it through so it'll open the barrier so you can go to your train. You don't want to put it away, okay? Keep that with you. Don't put it in your luggage or hide it away, because you might need to show it on the train to the conductor. Also, when you get off the train and major stops, you'll need that ticket again to get out, okay? So you have to swipe it to get out, and sometimes it'll spit it back out to you, sometimes it doesn't, but just one of those things to know about, because you don't want to be like, excuse me, sir, ma'am, could you let me out? Like, where's your ticket? I lost it. Really? Likely story, tourist. Another thing I think is important to know is realize, don't think every ticket is the same ticket will work at any time of the day, because when you do buy tickets, you'll see that it'll say, oh, for peak periods or off peak, because you'll notice the prices are quite different. And if you try to take a train and you bought the ticket for an off peak train and you try to take a peak train, yeah, that's not going to go over well, okay? So I just want to give you a heads up for that. Now, when you're walking around the rail station, oh,
Guys, this seems so complicated. This is stressful. How do you guys deal with this? Like, oh my God. Oh, I would be stressing hardcore.
and that's something I should say. Don't call it a train station, it's a rail station here, okay? And when you're walking around the rail station, one thing I would say is don't walk on the right. When you're going through the hallways and stuff, you're trying to go between platforms, you walk on the left, whether it's the hallways or the stairwells, and you'll see they mark it pretty well to make sure you're staying on the same side, because you don't want to go against the traffic or the flow of the people, because when it's rush hour and busy traffic, you could get knocked over, okay? It can be a bit much. Now, while at the rail station, I know a lot of people need their morning coffee or their afternoon coffee or their evening coffee, and I want to tell you, don't worry. There'll be a Costa coffee pretty much at every major station here, so you won't have a problem getting a snack or a coffee before your train goes. And I think that kind of gets me thinking about some of the kind of common courtesy don'ts you have whenever you ride the train, whether it's here in Great Britain or it's the UK or you're in the US or you're anywhere in the world. One, don't bring any stinky food. Nobody wants that, okay? Don't put your feet on the seats. Nobody likes that. Don't put your bags on the seat either. I know there's not a lot of space for your bags, but your bags, they didn't pay for a seat, so you want to be careful with that. Don't talk loud on the train, because honestly, people on the train here, it's pretty quiet. It's pretty chill, and they like it that way, so there's no loud music. There's no loud talking. Use your inside voice when you talk about how much you loved your time in Chester and Liverpool when you're taking the train back to London for your flight, okay? Lower voices on the train, because people really do kind of respect each other on the train, and that's what's kind of a nice thing about taking the trains here. Another thing I think you really should know is don't try to get on the train while people are still trying to get off, which sounds logical, but I know some places around the world people just kind of rush in when other people are trying to rush out. You want to wait and let everybody get out of the train, and believe me, there'll be some old grandma or some old grandpa or a lady with a pram trying to get out of the train, and she's going to be a little bit slower. When everybody tries to get on, we all get smashed and have to move around. Just, peek around the window, see, is everybody out? And then go in. Don't try to mad rush it on, okay? And when you are on the train, another thing I want to tell you is don't ignore the PA system, because you never know when there might be an announcement that's going to be important to you, like, oh, we're not stopping at this station today. And if you've been thinking, oh, I've got 4 stops till mine, and they announce they're going to skip one, uh-oh, you might go a little too far. Also, if you're going to smaller stations, there's so many beautiful small towns and villages around the country that sometimes the train stations of those smaller towns are so small, they can't fit all of the train cars on there. So they may make an announcement that, hey, if you're getting off at this stop, please know that only the first 3 carriages are actually going to open the doors. The back 3 aren't, so please move forward. And what's cool is I've found the PA systems on the trains here in the UK to be a lot better than some other countries. And the thing is, I really enjoy taking the train around England. It's very easy to do. But one thing I want to tell you is don't think it's going to be cheap because train tickets here in the UK are expensive. So that's why I always say book early so you can save some money that way. If you're looking at day trips, you can get day return. That can be cheaper than going and spending the night and then coming back the next day. Just some kind of things you can think about to get some deals. Also, don't forget to get a rail card, okay? If you're going to be here for any amount of time, get a rail card because you can save quite a bit of money on each of your tickets. And I know for me, I got one that actually saved me about a third of my price of my train tickets just by having it. So it actually paid for itself by getting that rail card, okay, for those discounts. So if you're going to come here as a study abroad student or you're going to be coming here for a month or 2 weeks or whatever, do look into those rail cards because they can be quite the helper in terms of saving money on your train tickets. The thing is, I do have to say this, as much as I've enjoyed the trains here and the rail stations here in the UK, one I gotta tell you is don't expect a lot of spots at the rail station to kind of wait around and be comfortable and get there early kind of stuff to feel like you're ready to go because there's not usually a lot of places to sit and relax at the rail stations. So that's one thing I want you to know. Also, if you have accessibility issues, the train stations here are always super accessible. A lot of them will have elevators or lifts you'll see here, but it's not as easy or as convenient. And so you're gonna be doing a lot of steps. So if you are gonna take the trains before you come, don't forget to practice on the stepper because you're gonna be going up and down and up and down a lot of steps when you're at the rail stations here in the UK. A small safety note when you'll be taking the trains, if you wanna get a taxi afterwards or a cab afterwards, don't take random cabs and rides from people that are offering rides at the station. Just go to the taxi stand and you'll be fine there, and there'll be taxis waiting in most train stations, at least the bigger ones, so you'll be able to catch one soon enough. And one thing I want to say for you Harry Potter fans, don't forget you can actually go to platform 9 and 3 quarters. Well, not the real platform 9 and 3 quarters, that was movie magic, but if you go to King's Cross in London, there's actually a place where you get in a line, a long line, because there's a lot of people there a lot of times, and they have one of the trolleys like going into the wall so you can get your picture when you're there. I will tell you, give yourself like an hour to wait through that line to get to it, but it's something you can do. So those are my don'ts for traveling the train in the UK. What are some of your don'ts for traveling the train in the UK? Because this is the thing, we can help other travelers have a better time exploring the world if we help share information. So please let us know in the comments below so we can help out other travelers. And I wish you a fantastic rail journey when you're here in the UK. And I'll say
Wow, you guys, it sounds complicated. Um, I haven't. We used to do train rides. So when I was a kid, my grandmother would get tickets every year, usually for like me and her and my cousin. And we would go from where I was from, which was Huntington, West Virginia. You would board the train and you would take it up to the New River Gorge. And to be honest, I don't even remember how long it was. It was probably maybe a 2 hour trip there and a 2 hours back. Um, and obviously, I wasn't in charge of having to do anything, but it was one ticket, one train, and you would get off when you got there. You could go to the little shops. They had the bridge. There was a big bridge out there. This was in the Appalachians, in the mountains, and so um, not while I was there, but people would go there once a year, and they would all bungee jump off of this bridge. But you could go to the little town and it had like little shops, and I remember getting like a little coin for New River Gorge at one of them at one point. But it was just a fun kind of thing to go and ride the train and to check out the old bathrooms on it and the snack train that they would have on there. So I always think of that fondly. But here, um, like you can do trains. I think it's like Amtrak, um, but it's just it doesn't make sense. It's not a whole lot cheaper than honestly plane tickets are sometimes, or just honestly driving. And it takes just ridiculously long. So trains aren't something that we ride very much. There are subways and stuff like that around Charlotte. They had, I think it was called Lynx or something. We would usually do it when we would go to Panthers games, just because the parking was expensive and it would be so busy up around the stadium. So you could jump on one of the trains at one of the stops. You park for free, pay for a cheap little ride uptown, and then you get off uptown and just walk a couple blocks to the stadium. But like this, it seems like a lot different tickets for different places and printed tickets and digital tickets, and then you've got to scan them when you get on, you got to scan it when you get off, and sometimes it gives it back to you and sometimes it doesn't. And they don't tell you the right platform. Like for somebody like me that is like OCD and ADHD and that's got like crazy anxiety, it would make me a mess. Like I think if I was with somebody who knew exactly what they were doing, then great, fine. Like it's up to them. But having to be in charge of that would make me really, really anxious. So, it's probably one of those things, if you do it, then you feel better about it and you understand how it is. But just thinking about it's a little stressful and intimidating for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I think a lot of it was kind of common sense stuff. But yeah, it was interesting. It was good to know, for sure. So hopefully, you guys let me know in the comments if it's really as complicated as it seems, and hopefully it's not. And yeah, let me know about that. Let me know if you guys think this video was pretty on point. And if there's anything you feel like he forgot to mention, or that you disagree with, I'm sure you will. You guys usually let me know. But thank you guys for watching this video, and hit like, hit subscribe. It helps the channel so much, and I hope you guys have a great day.